Chosen one, this Monday comes with good news. Not because life suddenly decided to shift, but because you have entered a different internal state where you finally match the blessings aligned for you. Mondays are often seen as beginnings, resets, or routine obligations, but this one holds a different energy. It carries a sense of movement, clarity, and new momentum. You may feel this shift not through dramatic events at first, but through subtle internal signals. Peace replacing stress, hope replacing hesitation, direction replacing confusion. Something in your spirit knows that change is unfolding, even if nothing external has announced itself yet. This feeling is not random. It is preparation. Before we continue, Chosen one, stay with this message until the very end and write your warmest wishes along with 144 in the comments. This is not just writing, it is alignment. When you declare your wishes, you claim them. When you write 144, you align your spirit with divine order, new cycles, and manifestation. This moment is not passive. It is intentional participation in your next chapter. Chosen one, this Monday comes with good news. Now, Chosen one, press the hype button, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. You may have noticed that recently, things feel like they are rearranging themselves around you. Conversations feel more meaningful, ideas feel clearer, timing feels sharper, and decisions feel easier. This shift is not a coincidence. It is a sign that your life is moving out of stagnation and into momentum. Mondays often represent the beginning of cycles, but this one feels like the beginning of a new phase. Not just the start of a week, but the start of a new way of moving through life. Chosen one, good news does not always arrive with loud announcements. Sometimes it arrives as readiness. Sometimes it arrives through internal shifts that make space for external changes. Sometimes it arrives through the release of old habits, old expectations, old fears. When you feel lighter, it is because the universe is preparing you to carry something greater. This Monday may not be significant because of a single event, but because of the energy you bring into it. You are not stepping into the week with burden. You are stepping in with intention. You are stepping in with clarity. You are stepping in with a mindset that expects progress. When you shift your posture, life responds. Chosen one, part of the good news arriving in this new cycle is emotional clarity. You may suddenly understand why things happened the way they did. Disappointments that once felt painful now feel purposeful. Delays that once frustrated you now look like protection. People who left your life now feel like necessary exits. This clarity is a gift. It frees you from confusion so that you can move forward with confidence. You may also notice that you feel more grounded than before. Your emotions do not control you the way they once did. Instead of reacting, you pause. Instead of fearing the unknown, you observe it. This emotional maturity is a sign that you are ready for blessings that require stability, not just excitement. Good news is not just about receiving. It is about being someone who can hold what arrives. Chosen one, this Monday marks a shift in your internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself is changing. You speak with more encouragement, more belief, more trust. You no longer talk to yourself like someone suffering. You speak like someone rising. Internal language is spiritual code. It signals to your future who you are becoming. You may also begin noticing new ideas surfacing, ideas that feel expansive, exciting, alive. These are not random thoughts. They are seeds of your next level. Good news often starts as inspiration before it becomes manifestation. Pay attention to the thoughts that feel like possibility. They are invitations. This shift may also show up in how you approach challenges. What once drained you now activates your resilience. You navigate obstacles with strategy instead of fear. You move with focus instead of frustration. Challenges do not shrink your spirit, they sharpen it. That shift alone is a sign that your season is changing. Chosen one, this Monday will feel different because you are different entering it. You are not waking up as the same version of yourself who once carried doubt and imbalance. You are stepping into this week with alignment. When you go into time differently, time treats you differently. Another sign of the good news unfolding is the feeling of emotional closure. Old cycles may feel complete. People who once occupied your mind no longer do. Conversations you needed to have may suddenly feel unnecessary. Closure does not always come from words. It often comes from acceptance. This closure creates space for what's next. Chosen one, as you step into this new phase, opportunities may begin to surface in unexpected forms. A message from someone you haven't heard from, an invitation, a realization, a shift in circumstances, a path that suddenly feels open. These are signals that movement is happening beneath the surface. Good news does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it arrives quietly, then grows. Chosen one, this Monday may also bring a renewed sense of purpose. The direction you once struggled to find now begins to take shape. You may suddenly feel drawn towards certain goals with clarity you didn't have before. What once felt overwhelming now feels attainable. What once felt distant now feels close enough to touch. When purpose becomes clear, motivation no longer needs force. It becomes a natural flow of energy. You wake up not to survive the day, but to move towards something meaningful. You may also notice a shift in your relationships, not because others changed, but because you are finally seeing people through the lens of alignment rather than attachment. This Monday marks the beginning of a season where you no longer hold on to connections just for comfort. You choose connections that support your evolution. You choose conversations that feed your spirit. You choose environments that honor your growth. This shift is essential because good news often arrives through people, opportunities, support, mentorship, or unexpected help. And only aligned relationships can carry aligned blessings. Chosen one, another sign of movement, is how your sensitivity to distractions is changing. Things that once entertained you may now feel draining. Habits that once felt routine now feel restrictive. You crave silence, clarity, and purpose. Not because you are isolating yourself, but because you are prioritizing the energy required for what is coming. Distractions feel heavier in seasons of acceleration because your spirit knows you cannot afford to waste momentum. You may also notice yourself becoming more disciplined without effort. You eat differently, think differently, plan differently, rest differently, create differently. You are not forcing discipline. You are becoming someone who values alignment over impulse. This shift is crucial because blessings require structure, and you are learning to build that structure without resistance. Chosen one, part of the good news arriving is the release of old emotional patterns. You are no longer triggered by the same things. You do not internalize external chaos. You do not seek validation from those who cannot see your value. You do not fit yourself into spaces that no longer expand you. This emotional detachment is not coldness. It is freedom. When your emotions stabilize, your future becomes more accessible. You may also feel a surge of confidence rising within you. Not loud confidence, but grounded confidence. The kind that says, "I am ready." You are not waiting for proof. You are moving as if the blessing is already unfolding. Confidence is a sign that your spirit has already stepped into the reality that your body is just now walking toward. This Monday may also reveal answers to questions that have lingered in your heart, not through external explanations, but through clarity that settles in your spirit. The confusion lifts. The fog clears. You understand your next step, not because someone told you, but because your intuition confirms it. This clarity is a form of good news in itself. Chosen one, you may also start to notice that peace is returning to areas where you once felt chaos. Your mind feels quieter. Your heart feels lighter. Your decisions feel easier. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of spiritual alignment. When peace returns, movement follows. Peace is a precursor to manifestation. This Monday also symbolizes a shift from waiting to experiencing. You have spent seasons preparing, healing, releasing, learning, and becoming. Now you are stepping into a season of receiving. But receiving is not passive. It is an active state of readiness. You are not merely hoping things will happen, you are positioned for them. Chosen one, the good news this Monday brings is not limited to external blessings. It includes inner breakthroughs. The moment your internal world changes, your external world begins to reshape itself around that change. Life rises to meet the version of you that steps into the week. You are no longer entering Monday with resistance. You are entering it with expectation. And expectation is spiritual magnetism. It pulls opportunities into your path. This is why everything feels different. You are not just starting a new week. You are stepping into a new energy, a new mindset, a new chapter, a new frequency. Chosen one, another sign that this Monday carries good news is the way your spirit feels guided rather than lost. You may notice that your thoughts are more organized, your emotions more balanced, and your vision more focused. This sense of inner order is not accidental. It is preparation. Before external blessings arrive, internal alignment always comes first. When your inner world is structured, opportunities can finally land without slipping through the cracks. You may also notice that your energy feels different when you wake up. There is a quiet anticipation, a sense that something meaningful is unfolding even if you cannot see it yet. This feeling is not just intuition. It is alignment between who you are becoming and what your life is beginning to reflect. The good news you are stepping into is not simply an event. It is a shift in momentum. It's a chapter where progress becomes consistent rather than occasional. Chosen one, this Monday may also bring closure to lingering emotional attachments. The thoughts that once pulled you backward no longer have power. The memories that once drained your spirit now feel distant. The situations that once defined you no longer determine your direction. Emotional closure is a powerful form of good news because it frees your energy to finally move forward without fragmentation. You may also begin observing improvements in your communication. You express your needs more clearly. You set boundaries more confidently. You no longer fear disappointing others by choosing what is best for you. Your voice is becoming stronger because your identity is becoming clearer. This shift will open doors that once required permission. You no longer need permission to walk through them. Chosen one. Another dimension of this transition is the way your environment begins to reflect your inner evolution. You might feel compelled to clean, organize, redesign, or declutter your space. You might feel called to upgrade your style, your routine, your habits. These impulses are not superficial, they are symbolic. Your external world is adjusting to match your internal growth. This Monday is the beginning of a cycle where your surroundings support your destiny rather than weigh it down. You may also feel a growing pull toward solitude, not isolation, but intentional space. You seek stillness because clarity arrives when noise subsides. You are not withdrawing out of pain, you are withdrawing to align. This space allows divine guidance to reach you without interference. Good news often enters through silence. Chosen one, another indication that this Monday holds significance is your increasing trust in timing. You are no longer desperate for things to happen instantly. You are not rushing or forcing outcomes. You understand that what belongs to you cannot miss you. This trust lifts heavy emotional weight from your spirit, making room for peace. When you stop chasing outcomes, outcomes chase you. This good news may also manifest as opportunities returning to you in a new form. Something you once wanted but couldn't receive may find its way back when you are finally ready. Sometimes blessings are delayed, not because they were rejected, but because your old self couldn't sustain them. Now that you have evolved, what was once out of reach can return as provision. Chosen one, you may also experience deeper self-respect. Not in a loud or prideful way, but through the quiet refusal to settle. You are walking away sooner. You are saying no more easily. You are choosing the path that honors your future rather than comforts your past. This is good news because self-respect changes your trajectory more than opportunity ever could. You may also feel a surge of creativity or inspiration. Your mind becomes fertile with new ideas, new plans, new visions. You may feel called to start something, finish something, or resurrect something you abandoned. Creativity is spiritual evidence that life is flowing again. Chosen one, this Monday marks the beginning of a season where you no longer fight your way through life. You flow through it. You no longer seek breakthrough from desperation. You step into it with readiness. You are not waiting for permission. You are responding to alignment. This is a new beginning, not because the world changed, but because you entered it as a renewed version of yourself. Chosen one, this Monday may also reveal itself through unexpected moments of encouragement. Someone may compliment your growth without knowing what you've been battling. Someone may speak life into a part of you you've been trying to rebuild. A message, a conversation, a sign, or even a random encounter may confirm what your spirit already knows, that you are stepping into a season of forward movement. Good news often arrives through alignment disguised as coincidence. You may also feel a deep release of comparison. You no longer measure your progress against someone else's timeline. You no longer crave what others have. You understand that your path is unique, and your blessings have their own schedule. Comparison fades when purpose strengthens. This inner shift creates space for genuine gratitude, and gratitude opens spiritual pathways for manifestation. Chosen one, another sign of this shift is your changing relationship with action. You no longer procrastinate out of fear. You no longer wait for the perfect moment to begin. You no longer overthink opportunities. You move when you feel called. This is a sign of growth because breakthrough follows movement, not hesitation. When your spirit leads and your actions respond, blessings can finally reach you. You may also begin to see how your past prepared you. Experiences you once resented now make sense. Lessons you once wished you could erase are now the very tools that empower you. Pain becomes wisdom. Mistakes become direction. Loss becomes transformation. This understanding is good news in itself, because once meaning replaces regret, your spirit stops carrying emotional weight. Chosen one, this Monday may also be marked by renewed hope. Not a fragile hope that depends on conditions, but a grounded hope that comes from inner certainty. This hope is not naive. It is reinforced by growth, awareness, and alignment. When hope becomes anchored, manifestation accelerates because your belief no longer fluctuates. You may feel your energy shifting toward abundance rather than scarcity. You stop worrying about losing opportunities because you trust that more will come. You stop fearing lack because you realize provision is not random. It is spiritual currency tied to alignment. You stop hoarding your energy, your love, your creativity, because you finally believe you are supported. This mindset shift is often the precursor to financial, emotional, and spiritual breakthroughs. Chosen one, another sign of good news is that you feel more connected to your future self. You may visualize where you're going more clearly. You may sense who you're becoming. You may even begin making decisions that honor your future instead of your past. Your future self is not distant. It is calling you closer. You may also feel drawn to elevate your habits. You want to rise earlier, think deeper, eat cleaner, speak kinder, move differently, not because someone is forcing you, but because your spirit is preparing your life to match what is coming. Blessings require space, and you are creating that space without realizing it. Chosen one, this Monday may also bring opportunities disguised as responsibilities. A task, a message, a call, or a small assignment may look ordinary, but it may lead to something bigger. Sometimes the doorway to breakthrough is disguised as something simple. Do not overlook subtle beginnings. Great chapters often start quietly. You may also notice a deeper sense of emotional independence. You don't need external reassurance the way you used to. You don't need approval to move forward. You don't need validation to trust your path. This internal sovereignty is a sign that your spirit is ready for higher levels of life. Chosen one, this Monday is more than a day. It is a shift in how your reality responds to who you have become. You are stepping into a timeline where growth translates into results, where inner work becomes outer change, where alignment becomes opportunity. This is not just another week. This is the week where energy moves differently in your life. A week where your spirit leads and your reality follows. Chosen one, you may also notice that this Monday carries a sense of emotional renewal. There is a lightness that wasn't there before, a release of old tension that once lived in your body without your awareness. You feel more open, more receptive, more prepared to receive what life is bringing. This release is not accidental. It is the byproduct of letting go of what weighed you down. When your emotions shift, your energy shifts. When your energy shifts, life shifts. This is how good news arrives, first within you, then around you. You may also begin feeling more connected to gratitude, not as a practice, but as a natural state of being. You find yourself thankful for clarity, thankful for strength, thankful for lessons that once hurt, thankful for how far you've come. Gratitude is not just a mindset, it is a frequency. And when you vibrate at that frequency, life responds with opportunities, blessings, and alignment that match your energy. This Monday marks a point where gratitude becomes your default, not your effort. Chosen one, another sign of this shift is how your reactions to disappointment are changing. When something doesn't work out, you no longer spiral into frustration. You interpret it as direction. You understand that closed doors are not personal attacks. They are divine redirections. This level of emotional maturity makes space for better outcomes because you no longer cling to what isn't meant for you. Good news often enters right after release. You may also feel newfound focus in areas of your life that once felt scattered. Distractions lose their power because your purpose has become louder. When purpose speaks clearly, confusion fades. You begin prioritizing tasks that move you forward and naturally lose interest in anything that delays your progress. Focus is a sign of readiness. Readiness is a sign of divine timing. Chosen one, this Monday may also open financial clarity. Not necessarily sudden wealth, but understanding. How to manage money, how to attract it, how to use it wisely, how to position yourself for better opportunities. Financial clarity is a form of good news because it gives structure to future prosperity. When you understand money differently, money approaches you differently. You may also feel a stronger desire to prepare. You plan ahead, organize your thoughts, make intentional decisions, not because you fear the future, but because you feel aligned with it. Preparedness is a spiritual signal that you expect blessing, not merely hope for it. You are acting like someone who knows something good is unfolding. Chosen one, you might even feel drawn to speak differently. You affirm more. You complain less. You speak from expectation, not survival. Words are powerful, and when your language changes, your reality follows. Good news often begins with a shift in how you speak about your life. Another sign of this shift is emotional peace. In situations where you once fought for clarity, you no longer need closure from every person, explanation from every situation, or reassurance from outside sources. You trust the unfolding. You trust the process. You trust yourself. Peace is a sign that your spirit is preparing for expansion. And as this Monday unfolds, you may begin to notice how aligned your timing feels. You show up at the right place, at the right moment. You hear things you needed to hear. You receive messages that affirm your direction. Timing becomes precise when you enter a season you were meant to step into. Chosen one, this good news is not something you must chase. It is something you meet by rising into your higher self. You are not waiting for life to shift. Life is shifting because you are ready to walk differently. The blessings that felt distant are now close because the version of you who could receive them has finally emerged. This is a week where alignment becomes evidence. Chosen one, as this Monday unfolds, you may begin to feel a quiet confidence rising from within. A confidence that does not need proof to exist. You are no longer waiting for external validation before believing in your own path. You trust your inner knowing, and you trust the direction life is guiding you toward. This is not the kind of confidence that seeks attention. It is the kind that simply knows. When confidence becomes internal rather than conditional, your life begins to move in alignment with your purpose, rather than your fears. You may also notice that you feel more present than usual. Instead of dwelling on the past or anxiously projecting into the future, you inhabit the moment with intention. You breathe differently. You observe differently. You respond differently. Presence is a sign of spiritual grounding, and grounding is necessary for receiving what is arriving. Good news cannot be received by a mind that is elsewhere. It meets you when you are here, aligned, aware, open. Chosen one, this Monday may also bring a shift in how you handle opportunities. Where you once hesitated, you now act. Where you once feared commitment, you now step forward. Where you once needed guarantees, you now trust the process. Opportunities favor the bold, but not the reckless. they favor those who move with clarity. The good news coming to you will require movement, not passive expectation. You may also find that you care less about being understood by others. You realize that not everyone is meant to see your vision, and not everyone is qualified to interpret your path. This freedom from external opinions allows you to move with authenticity. Your life is no longer shaped by what others accept. It is shaped by what aligns with your spirit. When you stop seeking approval, you step into originality, and originality attracts destiny. Chosen one, your priorities are shifting. You are no longer investing energy into things that drain you. You are redirecting your focus to what brings growth, peace, and purpose. You begin to recognize that your time holds value, and anything that does not support your evolution no longer earns access to it. This prioritization is good news because transformation becomes sustainable only when your life becomes intentional. You may also experience sudden insights into decisions you've been uncertain about. A choice that felt heavy now feels clear. A path that felt confusing now feels simple. Answers arise not from overthinking but from alignment. Clarity begins to flow because you are no longer forcing direction. You are listening to it. Good news often takes the form of inner knowing long before outer change. Chosen one, this Monday may also deepen your connection to faith, not as hope for something distant, but as trust in what is unfolding. You are not relying on logic alone. You are guided by intuition, timing, and divine alignment. When faith matures, it becomes less about asking for outcomes and more about walking with confidence toward them. This level of faith shifts your frequency, and your frequency shifts your reality. You may also notice that things that once drained you emotionally now pass through you without residue. You no longer internalize negativity. You no longer attach meaning to temporary chaos. You no longer allow past patterns to dictate present reactions. This emotional shift signals that your spirit has outgrown the level you once lived in. Growth does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it shows up in how much less something affects you. Chosen one, this Monday brings good news because your life is no longer being lived from reaction. You are living from intention. You are choosing with awareness. You are moving with purpose. You are living in alignment. When intention leads, blessings follow naturally, not forcefully. You are stepping into a chapter where timing aligns with readiness, where effort aligns with opportunity, where faith aligns with results. The week ahead is not simply another stretch of days. It is a point of activation. The good news approaching you is not arriving to change your identity. It is arriving because your identity has already changed. Chosen one, as this week continues to unfold, you may begin to sense a shift in the way you carry yourself. There is a quiet maturity settling into your spirit, a sense that you no longer need to announce your growth or prove your progress. You simply are evolving, naturally and consistently. This inner posture is powerful because it signals that your transformation is no longer rooted in reaction, but identity. You are no longer seeking change. You are embodying it. You may also notice that your decisions become less emotional and more intuitive. Instead of acting from urgency, you act from alignment. Instead of doubting every step, you trust the inner direction guiding you. This shift is not about becoming detached. It is about becoming centered. When you move from a grounded place, life begins to respond differently. Opportunities that once passed by unnoticed now gravitate toward you because your energy no longer pushes them away. Chosen one, this Monday marks the beginning of a season where clarity becomes your compass. You are not moving simply because you are restless. You are moving because you are called. You may begin to feel certain about things without needing long explanations or external signs. When your intuition strengthens, decisions become easier and timing becomes natural. Because when your spirit is aligned, you no longer chase opportunities. They rise to meet you.